And you're live on Dead Radio.
Yo, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Dead Radio with your main man, Bangy is Dead. Powered by the beautiful people at Play Energy Drink. Shot at BlackBrick in the conversation room, an amazing space. So today, we've got a special guest. Our special guest, obviously, before I get into it, sorry about that. He's going to intro himself. As probably doesn't know, we don't introduce any of our guests if you don't know. And before I add that, today we only have one camera because this is a really impromptu recording because we didn't have an episode last week. I just came out from the hospital. I was involved in a car accident, but of course we're here today. But before I get into it, I'm sorry. No, that's not the word. He's going to introduce himself. I'm sorry, I'm a bit sloppy today. What's good, my brother? What's good? So what you're going to do is just going to explain yourself. You're not explain yourself. You're going to tell us who you are and what you do, and then we'll just get into it from there.
Yeah. Okay, I'm Lethabo Mokoena. Lethabo Mokoena, originally from the East Rand, Johannesburg, Davidson specifically.
Right.
I'm an entrepreneur, a brother, an uncle, a friend, a homie, and all of those other things.
I like that intro.
Yeah, but what I do for a living, I clean sneakers and polish shoes. I run a sneaker cleaning business called Walk Fresh, among some of the business that I run. But my main business is Walk Fresh.
Okay.
We clean sneakers, polish shoes. We have shops in 2 provinces.
Okay.
I'm saying that for the first time ever. But yeah, we have shops in Joburg. We have a shop in Cape Town, opening another one before the end of the year. So there'll be 2 that side.
Dope.
And yeah, man,
that's dope.
Just kicking it, man.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So obviously, I don't know if I said this. This is not going to be an interview. It's going to be a conversation.
Dope.
So whatever we talk about, feel free to ask a question if you want to. I don't want you to feel like I'm the only one with the questions, but you'll see as the conversation goes that we're really just going to flow with it.
Yeah, dope.
So before we get into many other things, I'm really interested to find out like where you're from and your background, because obviously that's a really fundamental stage that contributes to who we are today.
Definitely.
So yeah, you're gonna basically just go into it and tell me where you're from, where you grew up, what school you went to, and like if you had both parents there or just one, and how either parent like contributed to who you are today.
Yeah, like I think before I go into that, I've always had mixed emotions about that.
Right.
And only because how it's the media, and when you say media, it's just like you're umbrelling everyone in it.
Right.
Certain mediums choose to use that to run and to say, "Oh man, it grew up here."
Yeah.
And I think we've had enough of those. True. But just for the justice to do justice to this show, which I think is a really dope platform. I'm from Davidson, as I said.
Yeah.
Davidson, Scotty Paula to be specific.
Okay.
I one day Chalibo from thesis used to say I'm an Afropolitan. He calls me an Afropolitan because he's like, you're the one homie that can live in the hood and outside the hood.
Okay.
Equally so, you know. But grew up and born and bred in Davidson, Scotty. Went to Milori Primary School, which is in Scotty Paula. Went to Kgalema, which is in Kobasutung, Davidson. Went to Maboya Secondary School, which is in Davidson.
Okay.
Finished my matric there. Went to Boston, did a PR course for a year.
Okay.
Finished that. Went to UJ, did corporate communications, majored in branding and strategy. Finished that. And with how I grew up, I always say because people always want to be like, so how did you grow up? and I mean, I feel like mediums can be asking better questions.
Okay.
You know, I said this one time on Facebook. I chilled for 2 years without doing any interviews because I'm like, I'm tired of these damn questions.
Right.
I'm tired of people trying to ask me, so were you poor? In not so many ways. Because if I say that, then it's a story to run with because it's a motivation for other kids.
I get exactly what you mean.
And I feel like a lot of the time it comes from a good place, you know.
Right.
But I feel like
it's enough of that.
It's enough of that. Maybe not enough of that, but I feel like we can go deeper.
Right.
I said on Facebook, no one has ever asked me how I feel about the current political climate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, grew up, and I always say to people when I'm at places, when I'm a guest speaker or whatever, to like, I don't think how I grew up is any different from all the other black kids in townships.
Right.
But it's always important to say that, because that, like you and I were saying before this interview, that kids have to resonate with us and say,
Yes.
you know, if that guy can do it and he used to chill where I'm chilling, then
I can do it too.
you know.
Yeah.
So grew up in a family, feminists. I was raised by women.
Okay.
My grandmother, my aunt, my mom's, and very, very strong-willed women.
I'm sure that it contributed to your likeness for clean shoes.
Definitely, yo, bro, you couldn't
Because
walk
they
into
probably
my-
hated you with clean
like,
shoes.
I remember I used to remember when Cortez dropped like those first gum joints.
Yeah.
Mine was so dirty, like they slept in the toilet. Come on, because my mom was just like, yo, like you're not having this in the house. So raised by my moms, had to live with my dad at some point. We didn't get along. We moved back with my mom and thingy, and yo, my life has been just me being stubborn.
What makes you say that?
Because I don't think my family ever imagined me being the person I am today.
What do
My
you?
aunt still can't believe it. My aunt's just like,
Is this really you?
You know?
What did they think was gonna happen? What, were you like a naughty guy or what?
I don't want to say I'm a naughty guy. Like, I'm the guy that people never really thought
Would be doing this.
Yeah, will be wild, because I was very chill. But my teacher used to say, yo, you're so great. It's just that the people you're friends with.
Right.
You know? And I always have had a problem with that, because I knew these niggas were smart.
Right.
These niggas were smart. So I'm just like, you don't know it. It's just that there's certain things that they do that you don't like.
You don't like now.
I'm
You say
friends
they're
with them
friends.
because they're smart.
Right.
So grew up typical Shama Kavela. I still do to this day.
Yeah, I saw that on your page.
Because people think just because you're
You're
this
out the
person,
hood, you can't do that.
Yeah,
shit. And I
yeah.
felt that Kavela. I mean, I had a Kavela. I remember the person that introduced me to that was my dad.
yeah,
And I had a leather one back when I was in high school. It was just like, fuck.
yeah.
Like,
so,
it's such a... I mean, there's no better shoe.
Bro,
if you're
right,
keeping it 100,
yeah, you know.
like silhouette-wise, it's just like crazy.
So grew up like that. I did everything any black kid did in the hood. That's
Right.
why. And now this is the messed up part. Now that you have a shop in Sandton, you have a shop in Cape Town, you have a shop in Soweto, niggas from the hood forget that you're from the hood.
Right.
So they're trying to come up to me like, hey, manje, I'll buy you call. I'm like, bro, I grew up with you. Why would I do that?
Right.
Well, from Mumbai, you know. So niggas forget, you know. But that's how I grew up.
I think it's because people think... Because that happens to me a lot. Because, like, I grew up in the hood, in Mamelodi. But I don't know how to explain it. Like, and what you're saying is so... It's extremely relatable to me, because I grew up there because I was there every weekend. Like, my dad made sure that we drive to my grandparents' house, like, every weekend. Like, that's why, like, a lot of my DNA is from Mamelodi, was made there, even style-wise, aesthetic-wise.
Yeah.
That's why I got all these ideas about... That's where I first understood clothes. From the dry-fit Nikes, the Levi's 401s. You know what I mean? Like that's the shit like I grew up seeing. That's the shit that I aspired to. But now, because I was in the burbs half the time, obviously my Totital is not on that level, or my like they think I'm more cheese or some shit, and niggas always try take that away from me, and I've always kind of felt weird about it. It's like, okay, because I am the guy that grew up in the hood, but his parents did more to get me out. Does that mean now I'm less than a nigga from the hood? You get what I mean?
No,
and it's just like
you'll never win with those niggas.
100%. But I kind of got it. To me, it's just like a thing of it's something in my DNA, where I can say that I will, but it doesn't. And that's what I was saying in one of my interviews, that it's one thing that happened in my life, and I will say it where I need to say it, but I'm not a product of it, if you get what I mean. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why when I talk about my background, it's a background that happened, but I'll never use it as a point of reference. I don't like saying like, this is where I'm from. My mind is in a place of this is where I'm going type thing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
Yeah.
yo, man, people are so fixed on where you're from, and I'm like, so you're gonna overlook all the dope shit we've been doing,
And you're gonna ask me
and
where I'm
you're
from.
not gonna write about that. You're gonna write about how we grew up, and that's why even people when they ask me, so when you started your business, were you struggling to find a job? I'm like, nah, I was working when I started my business because people really like thrive on the Hashem story.
Yes.
They want that. And I'm like, I'm not that
Hashem story.
I'm not that story, bro. Like,
that's a fact.
I
That's a bar.
I was deliberate with everything that I'm doing.
Right.
I knew like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that. And when I say...
From what age did you know that this is what you're going to do?
I didn't know I was going to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
I never imagined myself as an entrepreneur. I always imagined myself as a copywriter.
Okay.
In an agency. I'm 30 this year as a senior copywriter in an agency somewhere, you know. And I bumped into the idea of Off-Rich.
Right.
If I'm being honest with you.
How did you bump into it?
So 2014, I'm still working. I'm an intern. And because I took myself through varsity, you know,
right.
The last part of varsity, I took myself. I had 3 jobs. I was working at Sony, South Sea, and at the nursing department.
What?
So I was that homie who got to the lecture hall, wearing like a Sony t-shirt, lecture, boom, go to Campus Square, go work at South Sea there in Campus Square, come back for a tutorial, go to the bathroom, change into a South Sea t-shirt.
Joking.
You know, and I have a friend of mine, Katle Khumlele, shout out to her. She used to always sign the register for me, going to tutorial when I couldn't make it, you know.
You're joking?
No, real talk. So, and what happened though is that by the time I finished varsity, I was already making 18K by myself.
Right.
With all these 3 jobs, you know. Because I was paying for all the shit that I had to pay for tuition,
Yeah.
So my complex was that now you're an intern, you're getting around like 4 or 5K. Because
right.
agency are brutals, like the creative space is brutal.
It is,
you know. And now I'm just like, yo, bro,
18 to
these
4K.
people need me here 9 to 5, and they're giving me 4 5K. I used to do 3 jobs, and I used to go. I bought my first whip while I was still in varsity, bro. And my family fought. They're just like, because I failed my first 2 years of varsity.
Right.
Because I'm this nigga who...
You're hustling.
No, besides that, like I went to township schools my whole life, and when I got to varsity, the studying there is different.
Right.
And in the hood, everyone who went to the hood tells you they don't prepare you for that.
Right.
Assignment for like that morning with the homies at the toilets. You know, and when I met with my peers in varsity, and went to private schools, they used to the shit. Bro.
Right.
And now I'm balancing that and I'm balancing the lifestyle.
Right.
Because I give all my kids pajamas and all of that, you know. So, and I'm balancing a heartbreak.
And it's all new to you now.
It's all new.
The streets it's different new streets.
You feel me? So first 2 years of varsity, I failed, bro.
Right.
And I remember I got an F5 at UJ. And they're like, yo, if you fail anything else from here,
you're gone.
You're gone. My uncle at the time used to pay for my fees for the first 2 years, and he was just like, yo, bro, I'm out of money for that shit. Like, you keep failing. I got a family. You gotta come back home. He's like, yo, you gotta come back home. I was like, nah.
I ain't coming back.
I was like, nah. Because I knew how that works. I knew how that would go, bro.
Yeah, like you gotta come back and you're staying there.
Yeah, and I'm staying there. I'm just like, nah, I'm not doing that. I remember I went back to varsity the following year, and Kaya, shout out to Kaya Kubega. Kaya said, I told Kaya, Ban, you gotta make a plan, bro. Like, because the thing is, I knew I was smart. I wasn't failing because, like,
you just don't got time.
You know,
and you don't
I
know
was
the
starting
shit.
to adjust. I wasn't focused, you know. Fast forward, Kaya gives me the gig at the nursing department. Work at the nursing department. Stokes, my roommate at Labore at the time, gets me a gig at Sony.
Dope.
The Sony gig gets me the Celsi gig.
Okay.
So now I'm doing my shit, you know. So by the time I'm in agency, I'm just like, bro, this is stressing me, bro. And I say to my girl at that time, I'm like, dog. So I believe in the yin and the yang. If bad happens, good has to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I've had the roughest past 3-4 years of my life.
Right.
Something good has to come out of this.
Has to.
And I don't believe me doing that 9 to 5 is that. I was just like, I refuse to believe this is it, you know. And she was like, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, I don't know, bro, because like I said, I never imagined starting a business.
Right.
Then this one day, I come back home from Span, and I've always liked New Balance suede joints.
Okay.
So I had like 8 joints of those. I just got the Flamingo pack. They're pink, they're grey. I'm stressed how I'm gonna clean this. But that's in the back of my mind, you feel me?
Yeah.
Come back home, one of my child friends, I remember he's cleaning his mom's cakes.
Right.
Because we're just chilling like this, he's bored, you know, give him my 5 o'clock.
And we're just chilling, so he comes out.
Chilling, you know, drinking cola there. And I said, yo, man, why don't you get paid for that, you know? I'm like, yo, why don't you get paid for that?
Right.
I promise you, everyone laughed. They were like, dog, like, why would people pay you for that? Where are you gonna store it? Bro, on God, I called my girl that time. I was like, yo, I think I know what I'm gonna do with my life. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, yo, I'm gonna clean sneakers. And she's like, no way. She's like, nah, like, no one does it. I'm like, exactly.
Shit.
You know?
You're kidding me.
I promise you, she could tell you. Called my mom. So I was like, yo, lady, that's what I'm gonna do. You know? She's like, no, dude, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. Following day, I bought a metro rail ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, monthly.
Mm-hmm.
Bought a monthly metro rail ticket with my petrol money. Because at that time the metro rail monthly ticket was like $90, bro.
Okay.
You know? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna use the train to travel to work. Then the petrol money said I bought like Dikotlo or like bath thingies, like scrubs and all of that. And I came back to the shop following day. I said to the bros, yo, who wanna works with me with this shit? I'm starting a sneaker cleaning business. I remember Tabang said, okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
Tolo at that time, and Tabang, there was 2 Tabangs. That's how I started my business, bro. This is Feb though. First week Feb, mid-Feb we start. By the end of Feb, we've cleaned 125 pairs.
You kidding me?
Then I said to the homies, stop. I'm like, yo, like, let's stop with the shit. Stop. And they're like, oh, wow, we hot. I'm like, nah. Some rich kid is gonna see the shit and they're gonna run with it. Like, wait. Because now, as we're working, I'm at an agency during the day, I'm doing research. And I'm speaking to my CD at that time. I'm like, yo, bro, this is what I want to do. He's like, what? Like, run. Like, there's no one doing that right now. February stop. I'm graduating in June.
Dog, I'm so shook.
February stop operations. I start with the registration, business registration, trademarks. We do the brand strategy. Because you must understand, I'm in an agency, I have access to everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm homies with everyone. Like,
so
we drink together.
anyone can help you with the easy.
So I'm like, yo, I need a logo. I put in a brief for logo. We need brand strategy.
Sure.
Why are we doing this? What's our angle?
Sure.
Boom, boom, boom. We do all of that. Everything is done. June on my graduation day, I launched the business. That's the story. That's how it went.
I gotta give it to you.
So yeah,
wow.
that's how it worked, bro. That's how Walk Fresh came about. It was actually meant to be Kick Fresh.
Right. Why did you change it?
Because CIPC declined the name. It was too familiar with so many other people who were registered.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I think Walk Fresh works. Because if people think we're a sneaker cleaning business, we are, but it's always Walk Fresh sneaker cleaning and shoe care.
Right.
You know, because while we're doing our brand strategy and doing like surveys, we realized that our target audience is not sneakerheads.
Right.
Right. So I'm never worried about sneakerheads. I'm
right.
never worried about getting...
So who's your main target audience? Who would you say?
My main audience are families.
Right.
I'm selling to people in Midrand, live with my Han, I have 2 kids.
And I want all our shoes to get cleaned.
Don't even tell me how much it is, bro. Just clean these. We gotta go this weekend.
Right.
If you look at our communications online, that's the people we're speaking to.
Right.
We've been invited to all the sneaker what gigs, and I'm always like, nah, we're good. Anyone thinks I'm crazy.
That's beautiful, man.
Because when I go to, I knew if I go to sneakerheads, bro, please clean my kicks like this.
Yeah.
Use this on it. And I'm like, okay, cool, 160. Nah, bro.
It's too much. Yep, I know exactly.
But with my audience, it's just like, are they gonna be
get
clean?
my shoes clean and make them look brand new.
So we knew that from the get-go because we didn't just dive in it. Like there's a lot of thinking behind it in terms of the positioning of the business, in terms of the activations that we did. We always did activations at markets.
Right.
This is a time when markets were just popping up everywhere.
Everywhere. And
even if the markets that we did were specific, we'd go to family-oriented markets.
Right.
Boom, 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 you know. So that was 2015, and this is 7 years later.
So you started in 2015?
Yeah, 2015, 4 June.
That's dope.
June.
That's so
And I left my job the following year.
Why did you leave the following? Was it because the work was getting more hectic?
Yeah, it was getting more hectic, and so the thing about me, I'm decisive, bro. Like, I always feel like the more you delay making a decision, the more it's costing you.
Yeah, and the more someone will jump on.
Yeah, you know, and
100%.
now everyone is seeing this, everyone is starting this. I'm just like, okay, cool. I gotta put in more effort into this, you know.
Right.
And now I'm distracted at work. Like I'm distracted because also agency, you put in real hours there. You know?
Right.
I'm always like ready to leave, bro. I'm always ready to leave. And I said to my boss, yo, dog, like I gotta leave. And he's like, dog, if that's what you want to do, run with it, man. It's your shit, you know. Then my boss is Sonia. I remember so vividly. She said, "No, you'll sell muffins at the taxi rank. It's fine."
What?
I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm leaving. You know.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What kind of a statement is that, bro?
Yeah.
Is that what I can do? Like, what?
I needed that. I needed her to say that. Now that
because now you had a point to prove.
I was like, yo, like this.
I'm gonna show you.
That whole year I was on TV, the whole year, bro. TV magazine, and I always said to my team, I hope she's seeing this. You know? So yeah, bro, that's the first part of the story, man, and everything else has just been unfolding over there, man.
Right.
And I think one of our mottos at the shops in the business is we don't go to them; they come to us.
Right.
And it was a hard thing to process for the team in the beginning because the culture right now is we build something, then we send presentation
and we sell like it's crazy.
We want to work with Nike, and I was just like, nah, dog. We building a company, not a brand. Like everyone right now online is building brands, branding this, branding workshop, branding how to logo must speak to what. People don't know that brands are paid for by companies.
Right.
I've seen people with great brands, but no companies. And then
but,
that's not sustainable.
But okay, that's such a bar, right? And I'm saying it's a bar because I need you to dig deeper into that. Because I understand what you're saying, and I think I do, right?
Yeah.
But like, what do you mean by saying a brand and a company are two different things?
So...
What's a brand?
A brand is what people say when you're there.
The brand is
what people say about you when you're not there.
Okay, and then a company?
And how people feel about you when you're not there.
Okay.
And how people refer to you
when you're not there. Right.
A company is what people see. Because people think the brand is what they see. But the company is the engine.
Right. So
the engine.
So basically what you're saying is the brand is, let's look at it like a car. Let's say it's an M4. The brand is the M4 outside. It looks nice.
It's the seats.
But the company is the engine
that runs that.
Yeah.
I used to say no to Metro FM for interviews.
Why?
Because the reach was too big.
So,
I studied PR. I understand reach. I understand, you know.
And what's wrong with that reach? You don't want it to get that big?
If I'm on Metro FM,
yeah,
and I have 1.2 million people listening to me.
Yeah.
If 10% of those people want to use my service, my business is dead because I can't meet the capacity.
Wow.
You feel me?
I agree.
And
I agree.
And people don't care that you're studying art.
Right.
People think by virtue of being on Metro FM, this boy, let's rock.
He's ready to rock.
We want to support him. We've never heard of this. Ah, man, come to my house. That's how I got 2 employees, bro.
Come to my house. And people think, and you know what's so interesting about what you're fucking saying to me? It's so fucking crazy. It's what I think about. No, like, it's really crazy because it's what I think about without ever being able to vocalize it, right?
Yeah.
And what it is that a lot of people ask me why I don't have a store or why Dead doesn't have more products available, right? And how I feel about that is that I need that to happen when I'm at a position to really feed the demand at a level that I can, so that everyone leaves as a happy consumer. The issue with that is now, let's say I have a billboard, argument's sake. I have a billboard on the highway, and now I wake up tomorrow, I've got 500,000 orders.
Yeah.
I can't meet a 500,000 demand.
But the risk with that is waiting for the right time. There's no right time.
Yeah.
I'll tell you for free. But for me, going back to what we were saying, so the company makes sure that you can meet the capacity. Or if can't meet the capacity, control it.
Okay.
How you control it is say, no, we only do pickups and deliveries Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Sure.
So then you know on Monday, everyone is on the road.
Sure.
Doing pickups. Tuesday, everyone is at the shops, cleaning these
Cleaning.
cakes. Wednesday, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you control it.
Right.
But then only a business can do that. The systems now
Not
have
a
to be in
brand.
place.
Uh-huh.
No, not the brand. Because what brands do with the brand, people like and share.
So brand is basically PR.
That's it. And
It's
when
meant to make you look good, make you look, but a company is the thing that you're making look good.
Bro, there's a company that sells fire extinguishers in Alex. That company makes 2.2 bars a year. No Facebook page, no Instagram, nothing. It's a company. No brand, fire extinguishers. Does that person need followers?
No.
So people, entrepreneurs...
Well, maybe he does to get a higher...
Bruv, everyone who's calling me is an industrial site. Jacob is an industrial site.
Like he's not an Instagram.
The procurement office is not an Instagram.
But don't you think... Okay, I get your point. But look, let me be the devil's advocate, right?
Sure.
Don't you think if I'm a new person in the industrial in the industrial side and I'm looking for fire extinguishers, you having a Facebook or Instagram showing that you're selling fire extinguishers is opening you up to a new market of people that could potentially utilize it?
True.
Because let's say we new people now. We need to understand we, and it's what I was explaining last night to my manager, right? Is that we new people now. And what I mean by new people is like companies and brands are starting to communicate to new people.
Yes.
And new people is online. Like that's where the language is going right now.
100%.
Everyone is putting their finances and their full steam
100%.
into either online or something that has to do with the internet.
Because even COVID expedited that process.
100%. So now what I ask is, cool, you making 2.2 bar, or 2.2 meter, let me say like that, for anyone that doesn't know, 2.2 million rand.
Yes.
Right?
Fair.
Per annum.
Yeah.
Per year, if you don't understand that as well, right? Are we saying that's the goal?
No.
That's my question. So what if I want to make 5 million bar in an annum? Does it mean now that's the direction I'm going? And I think that's what a lot of people that are making money go to Instagram for, is to like maximize their profits. You know what I mean? And it's what I've lately come to understand about companies is that a company is not actually supposed to be happy with what they're making right now. You always actually have to have an appetite to chew more or to eat more. So maybe that's how some people feel about the socials. So
my answer is twofold.
Yeah.
The first part is, it goes back to what we spoke about in the beginning. Who are you selling to?
Right.
You gotta always answer that and say,
right.
Are the people I'm selling to online?
But don't you think people are changing right now?
Of course. Everything is evolving.
Yeah.
But the homie right now, the best thing he needs is a website. Because in as much as, Batui has 24 stores when everyone else is going online.
Yeah.
People think because everything is going online, physical footprint doesn't matter no more.
No, it does. But however,
Sports scene is still opening the shops.
Look, respectfully.
Let me tell you.
Respectfully, I argue a lot with people about this thing, and it comes from no hate. It's all love, right?
Of course.
Like what I say to people is that, I don't know if I can say this on the record, but you know what? Fuck it. It's very questionable to get people that open stores at the magnitude that certain people are opening stores at, especially at such a volatile time.
Yeah.
For me, it raises a lot of question, and it raises a question of, is it really their money that these stores are being opened with? Because I feel as though, and I could be lying. Look, this is not facts. This is all a theory, but it gives me a lot of. It seems like it's someone else's funds, and that's why there is no proper risk management. If you get what I mean, because if you're opening up 20 stores tomorrow, we could go to level 4. Or level 5.
I'm going to be the devil's advocate on that one.
Yes, let's go.
No one is saying that when sports scene is doing that.
Because that's a machine.
How do we not imagine the other guys being machines? How do we not look at it as whatever? Let's say they have like an external funding source.
And that's fine. That's
you know what I'm
fine.
saying? So for me, that's what I'm saying. Why is it that when this race does it, let's be specific.
No, it's not a race.
No. For me, no. I'm just saying. It's not a race. But
it's not a race thing.
But when a younger person, let's say a younger person, because Posini is older. If these were people,
younger, not even in the age.
Younger company.
100%.
A younger company.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So for me, that's why I'm going to be the devil's advocate with that. Sports scene. Let's stop looking at who's doing it.
Yes.
Sportscene is opening shops, Batu is opening shops. We don't go deep into it when Sportscene is opening shops because it's Foschini, we're used to that.
And it has bigger margins.
Has bigger margins. But
bigger
Batu's,
familiarity, people buy on credit there, they belong to RCS, which in
So
actual
many
fact
things.
makes life so much easier because one thing you learn about when you study stats of South Africa, a lot of South Africans don't have cash. They don't have liquid cash. They buy a lot of things on credit. So that's why I see a lot of businesses thrive if you can take things on credit. Like that's how a lot of corporates make their money. Like credit.
But we did see what happened to Edcon. But that's a conversation for another day.
The Edcon, I'd really love us to get into this. This is a beautiful conversation because the Edcon one is a special case. And I'll say why it's a special case. It's a special case because they never oiled the machine. Edcon didn't oil the machine. They kept the same formula that has been making money for them for decades. And they never oiled the machine. Whereas the Foschini Group, you'll hear Total Sports is still there, but then they'll open an archive. Archive where it's selling more premium shoes. Whereas Edcon, we've had Edgar's that's selling the same clothes to I don't know which market. They don't even know which market they're selling.
So for me, what I'm questioning is the model, the credit model. Okay, cool. Let's say Edcon, whatever. What happened to the JD Group, Russells, Mockles, what? Same thing gonna happen to them. Happened to that group because credit it's a part-time fix in South Africa. Then it piles up in the future. People can't pay you back. And
then you override it.
People can't pay you back.
Then now you broke.
So that's why I'm saying let's leave Edcon.
Same
thing happens to Monkos, you know. So but back to the opening of physical stores.
Yeah.
I think right now, look, man, everyone can have opinions.
Yes.
And like you said, all this is just opinions.
It's opinion.
But for me right now, if Sportscene is opening stores, Batu is opening stores. These people are in retail, but Batu, when they open store, I was at the opening in Emelo. I think it was Emelo.
Right.
The mall shuts down. People have their cash in their hands. Because that's why Debonis is in every hood right now.
Right.
You feel me? That's
it's
why.
Just cartels.
That's why,
now they call it cartels.
Because they understand that, wait, man, these people who actually have the cash are in the hood.
Yes.
That's why
we don't have cash.
That's why Capitec is now the leading.
Yes, and I was having this conversation with my brother yesterday. Like things are changing, and it's so crazy how things are changing in South Africa because it's a change that no one sees.
Because
it's
the people,
so beautiful.
People forget who's the majority in this country.
Number one. Number two, even though we don't have all or even a bit of the wealth, it doesn't mean we don't have money in our pocket.
You got the numbers.
Like even if you can have 2 million, give you 10 rand in South Africa every month, and you'll be a billionaire.
Bro, you feel me?
Yeah.
So for me, that's why I'm like, there's always different ways to look at it, but
that's a good point though.
But I'm gonna speak specifically about Batu because he's my friend and I've seen it grow. Whatever. For me, it's like, yo, we're at a stage where we gotta fail forward. Everyone's got anxiety about that. Yo, Joe, yeah, what if we go to 11, I'm like, that shit has never been done.
Right.
Even if it fails, it's fine. Like it's a ladder. Like some kids will come with whatever.
And
they move from that.
Sure.
Do you know, right now this has to be celebrated and all of us go to the shop. And it's not even let's all support black. It's like now we're industrializing.
Right.
And everyone was judging the first design. And I'm like, bro. That's
how it should be.
Like that's how it starts.
That's how it should be.
You know?
Right.
But because we always want to put them here with everyone.
Yeah, like we always want to compare a Batu to a Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
You know, and people, and I like Galaxy Boy.
Yeah.
Like that homie doesn't care. He
that's my homie. Yeah, no cap.
He understands. He understands that, yo, man, like I'm gonna do this shit whether you like it or not.
Now he explained to me what his mission is. So I'm gonna have him on the show again because I've had him on the show before. But yeah. I want to have him again because last time he was on the show, he was basically talking about what happened to his brand.
Yeah.
Because at some point it was quiet and he was explaining why it went quiet, etc., etc. But what he explained to me is that he wants his brand to be like the township or the hood Louis. Like he wants it to be relatable to niggas there so that they can be in touch with it, but still keeping with the designs of them niggas. So, and I was asked this question on my questions, and I was like, yo, man, I think as South Africans, as black people or people of color, we need to stop focusing on what ABC is doing if it's right, dog. If it's making this nigga get paper, like let's support.
All right,
dog.
do this. Do it yourself. Let's see
Like
if you
for
do it
real,
better.
dog. Like I think we need to change how we think about things, because it shouldn't always be about if what is you only clean New Balance. Do you think that's a good business plan? No, dog. Is he making money?
Bruv, I've never worked with
Like-
any brand, with any cake brand specifically.
Why?
I'm
sure you turned them down.
I don't want to belong to them.
I'm sure you turned them down.
I literally did. I continuously do. And I always say to them, if I'm going to work with you, it's on a collaboration basis. Because I don't want kids anywhere to say, you go flashy A6.
Right.
Because I don't want, I even don't work with other sneaker cleaning, not in sneaker cleaning businesses, but other products, Kiwi.
Yeah.
And everyone will be like, yo, why don't you do this with Kiwi? I'm like, because I'm building my own product.
Right. I saw that. I saw
feel
that
me?
you sell your own products
Yeah.
as well.
And right now, I'm only selling my products to other sneaker cleaning businesses.
Right.
You know? And people are like, yo, why don't you put this on the shelf? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, yo, like, do you get that that's another business?
Yeah, and
That's retail.
And I guess you don't feel like you're there yet to do that.
I'm getting there gradually because now I'm learning.
Right.
And like we were saying before the interview, while you're learning this, everything is still happening.
Yeah.
You know?
Life keeps moving.
And for me, I said, I'm going to give my product to all these kids. We manufacture our own products.
Right.
I'm going to give my products to all these kids so that if it's whack, they tell me quick.
Right.
And
they'll tell you what to change.
And you must understand, they won't go on my Facebook page and post that.
Right.
They'll say, they'll
Because
DM me.
it's me and you.
They'll DM me.
Sure.
Compared to if I give it to you and you bought it at shelf life or
now it's a big
Pick n
problem.
Pay, it's like,
because I don't even know you. Now it's a
but
thing
if
of,
I give it to a sneaker cleaning business, I'm testing it with 50 pairs a month.
Sure.
Then if I get good reviews from you,
It's 50 pairs, dog. You can definitely clean 2 pairs with this.
we have
Sure.
186 companies nationally, and in Botswana and Harare and Swaziland we stock our product. And good reviews.
How many?
186. We got like a whole
Sheesh.
you know. Because another thing,
That's dope, man.
starting a sneaker cleaning business is not science. You don't have to be like
A genius.
A genius.
Yeah.
Like I did. I started, like, bro, I just saw your story. I started. And for me, people in the beginning, homies always used to text me or call me, yo, when is the intwana la? Says wash my day, you know. I started to walk fresh because I was tired of seeing my homies looking at me as a savior. Because I'm graduating, I graduated, I got
A DJ. Stayed there for a while. Khutman.
And I was like, I grew up with this homie. Truth is, I know this homie is smarter than I am.
Right.
If he got the right opportunities, this homie would be running. So now for me, it was really about how do we build something that we can own.
Right.
Like I said to you, I'm not trying to sell to an individual. I'm selling to institutions if I were to sell.
Right.
So I started Walk Fresh to say, yo man, there's enough kicks for all of us. And this is my legacy. I'm trying to see how many kids can I teach to do this.
Right.
You know, I'm starting an institution right now, Soul Survivors. I said to my team, okay, boys, we've been cleaning sneakers for 6 years. No one can touch us with that. We're going to teach all these boys how to do it.
Sure.
You're going to take business away from us. I'm like, bro, that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, but for me, I think in this country, we have such a high level of unemployment, but we're still trying to solve that with all our solutions.
Right.
We need to stop trying to create employment. That formula hasn't been working.
Yes.
Let's create jobs. It hasn't been working. We need to create employers.
You have to fund employers.
Yeah.
Because employers exist.
Yeah, we fund them, we train them. Because, dog, with all these kids we're supplying products with, they don't have business bank accounts, the businesses are not registered, but they trading.
And they turning over. Niggas believe in that shit. Yeah.
So for me, it's like, okay, how do we then put a structure and say, we've done it, we're going to teach you how to do it. Because the more of us, the better, then we own the space.
100%. And that's what I was telling
So now,
that's a conversation I had.
And
I was
now, I keep saying to people, I'm not building a business, I'm building an industry.
Right.
That's why any boy calls me and saying, today, before I left the shop in Davidson, there was a homie from Paley, from Matishville, who brought a Versace to the shop to fix it because he messed it up. And that's the relationship we have with all the other sneaker cleaning business. They know what's it. Manga is at Davidson, I know fresh or in Soweto, Bazum Salabachi.
Sure.
Because I stock my products from there and we're homies.
Right.
You know,
and now got that relationship.
We got the relationship, and now we're building a network. We're actually hosting the Soul Survivors conference. So the conference is specifically for sneaker cleaners.
Right.
Where I'm homies with the Sneaker Shed guys. We will have them as guest speakers, and we'll just be talking about how to run a sneaker cleaning business,
That's
how to
dope.
do this and that and that. And we'll have like a sneaker wash off where we're like, okay, dirtiest sneakers, who can clean it the best, there's a cash prize, all those things.
Dope.
But the thinking for me is like, my legacy can be, I built the best sneaker cleaning business.
And now you're just
because
the best
I won't.
alone.
I'm not. There's no way Workfresh is the best sneaker cleaning business. Just like there's no way Batu is the best sneaker in the country yet. We're just the first generation of that.
But we're gonna give it to the next generation that's gonna be the best.
Joe, I always say to these boys, bro, your job is to see things that I can't see because I'm in the game.
And your job is to make mistakes that I haven't made.
Your job is to say,
and the mistakes I made, I'm gonna tell you about that.
Like
Word.
I gotta beat. Like I don't. That's my attitude. Every time I
Word.
look at all these other, I look at Jason Mike. I'm like, nah, screw that nigga, bro. Like I'm gonna own Africa because I always say to these kids, stop cleaning sneakers as if you're in New York. No, we don't immerse sneakers in water. We just rub it. I'm like, bro, cleaning cakes like Miloni, red soil. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to be intentional and move with insights. And I'm
Right.
like, be inspired by that, but always have the African continent. That's your context. Context is important.
But you're spitting bars, man.
You know,
Fuck.
context is, so I always say to the kids, it's cool to look up to Jason Mark. Shout out to him. He's the real pioneer. But for me, there's nothing Jason Mark can tell me about cleaning sneakers in Africa. He can't do that. Because I'm an African. I grew up in Africa.
And you know what it takes to make it in Africa.
And I'm deliberately saying Africa, not South Africa. Because
Right.
we need to stop this thing of thinking we are Africa.
Africa is...
Someone says, when is your next shop? I'm like, yo, dog, my heart would be white if I can open a shop in Kenya.
Right.
That's my next destination. You know? So for me, it's like, how do we get all these kids to get to play at this level and stop this Hashem thing where we like, our motto in the business, our why, is to rewrite the township narrative.
Right.
We need to get to a point where before Nike drops anything that they
Giving
want
it
to
to you.
resonate with the hood or with black kids, they're like,
Giving it to you,
yo,
you have to wash it.
No. Like, what's the data? What are kids wearing right now? Because at my shops,
Oh,
we
yeah, you
capture
guys have the
everything.
data.
We capture everything. At
So
my
you guys
shops.
know which shoes the
We
most
know how
worn.
many Pumas we cleaned yesterday. We know how many white All Stars we cleaned whenever.
Dope.
You know, we don't just take cakes. And
So after let's say after a month, you guys sit down with the data and you can see which shoes are most worn.
we know
For
which
argument's sake.
prices to increase. We don't guess it. We just like, oh, okay, cool. It's spring now. We're gonna do a white sneaker special. Because spring people wear white sneakers based on the data we've had for the past 2 years. So we move with insights.
Okay.
Because we're moving to, you just said, bro, everything is moving to the data age.
Yeah.
Information now becomes money. So for me, then, how do we then make sure that
Your information is
yeah,
right.
our information is right, but more than that, we've built a black-owned industry where we manufacture our own product. That's why I struggle with working with brands like Kiwi, Sneaker Lab, Mama, because I don't want them to be my big bros.
Yeah, they're actually your competition.
I don't want them because then once I start working with them on a regular, then like, then we got like 50 stores. Because it's a time game. That's going to happen. I know
Yeah.
for a fact. Like, I got that shit tatted. So for me, it's like, now we got 50 stores and they're like, yeah, we helped them get there.
Yeah, here's Lethabo. We were with them hand in hand opening 50 stores. I know exactly what the fuck you're talking about.
So for me, it's really about, are we willing to put in the craft for that? Because the reason why people fold is because they're not willing, there's no patience. And I understand that it's hard to be patient
That's
when
true.
you're hungry.
I keep saying that. And it's something I read. I really feel what you said. It's something I read somewhere. I just forgot where. And they were saying that entrepreneurs don't fail. Entrepreneurs don't close their businesses unless they give up.
Yeah, businesses don't fail. Entrepreneurs give up.
100%.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I read. And I believe it because I truly inside my heart believe that it's impossible for someone to give themselves to something day in and day out and for it not to turn out to anything.
Impossible, bro.
It's impossible.
There's no
Like
way.
I can't wake
There's
up
no
every
way.
day
There's no way.
to focus on this one thing and for
There's
it
one
not to
catch.
open up any door.
I always say this to other entrepreneurs, there's one catch. You never know when you'll pop.
You'll never know.
And
That's-
I said to my best friend Bashi, as young black kids in business, we are sold this idea that one day you'll get that invoice, that's gonna change your life. That day never comes.
Yeah. Because that invoice, you're going to create it.
Because today is that day. Continuously. You're not doing what you used to do yesterday. But then, and I said this on Instagram, I was like, oh man, I've cheated myself in the past 4 years. Because I've been waiting for this day. Then I realized what I've done in the past couple of years. I'm like, bro, I've been in that day.
Right.
So now I'm appreciating it more. And I'm more present. And I said to Uvusi, I met this lady in Cape Town, Uvusi, I said, yo, my goal is to die empty. Everything that I've learned, I need to give it out to these kids. I no longer think with my stomach now.
You think with intention?
With intention, it's okay.
Right.
And we're talking long term. Remember, we were talking long term?
Yeah.
For me, it's like, where am I 10 years from now? As a human being. Not as an entrepreneur, as a human being. Is my conscience clear? Do I have... I know every sneaker cleaner in the country, bro. If you say Bloom, I can tell you.
So I must call you. I must call you when I need somebody like you.
and we keep fixing cakes by people that messed up. And we also messed up some cakes.
Of course. Because
it's business, bro.
Business,
you know? But for me, it's really long term. That's why the product, we've been working on the product for like a long time, bro. And everyone is just like, yo, the product, even today, DM, Hopoto says to me, I need the product to use at my house. I'm like, bro, I'm building an industry. If I sell the products to you, I'm taking business from that boy.
Right.
I'm taking business from that boy in your hood who I supply with product. I need you to go to that boy actually to get the service from him. You know, the products that I'm gonna put on the shelves later this year is products that doesn't affect your business. You know, took us 4 years to figure out how to unyellow midsoles. I can't put that on the shelf. I need to give it to these boys because
so that they're the only guys that have.
I don't want you to be able to do that by yourself, bro.
Word. That's beautiful.
Me, so for me, that's where they're thinking.
That's fucking beautiful.
And I've done my research, bro. Everyone who's been willing to give are the happiest.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do. You know, and it's hard, bro. It's hard to be like that when you're hungry, bro.
It's hard, but I mean, it's hard, but it's definitely doable because I have the same sentiment. I mean, I have a thing where, in reality, you know, I wish the fashion industry or the clothing industry was like the sneaker cleaning industry, because how it is in our industry is like everything's very closed in. Like everyone feels like you're my competition, and nobody really wants to sit down and share insights. Nobody really understands that. I kid you not, no one understands that in order for this industry to grow, we need to really have unity. We need to be unified in order for this industry to go. And everyone thinks they want to be the first big guy to do this, the second big guy to do that.
Pharrell said we need to share the codes.
We do.
That's
we
what
do.
He said. He was like, you need to stop keeping the codes. Right?
I kid you not. And that's the only way we'll have a bigger slice of the cake.
I frustrate my mentors with this shit, bro.
Like,
I frustrate them because they're just like, yo,
why do you want to give people? I had a friend of mine tell me, why do I want to teach people stuff? And it's something I was telling people. I was like, it's a good look when you have your own domain. Like when it's Lethabo at walkfresh.com or .co.za. It's such a, nobody understands that. It's such a easy finesse. Like, I promise you, dog, if anyone asks for your email address and you have a registered domain, trust me, you already look serious. And probably even if you haven't even done any business, you already look serious because you have paid 65 Rand. It's 45 Rand a month to pay your domain. And that's the small bit that somebody wants to see, that's how much you're willing to invest into your company in order for it to look good. And I was telling people to do that. And a friend of mine was like, yo, why are you telling these people this information? I was like, dude, I feel like it's my job as a person of color. To show these kids or anybody how to move. Like it's a bad look for me to email you at a Gmail, dog. Like you have a big, imagine your I'm supposed to think your company is an empire and I'm emailing you at gmail.com. It's a bad look. And I was telling people that, and she was like, no, don't tell people that free education. I was like, no, in order for us to grow as black people of color, we need to understand that in order for us to grow, it means we all have to grow. Like,
the wildest thing for me right now, bro, is as I'm going into product and manufacturing, bro, that's the easiest shit I've ever done.
What do you mean?
Bro, people are making free money, bro. Like, that's the easiest shit that I've ever done as an entrepreneur.
What do you mean?
Figure out a formula, manufacture it, put it in a bottle, put a branding, sell it.
And just keep on doing that over and
No
over
brain
again.
work. No brain work. But because we've never had access to that information, it looks like I used to be scared of putting product out. I used to be scared of thinking of making product. Because I was like, oh, Joey,
what if I fuck up?
Engineer,
Right.
But when I stepped into it, I was like, man, if I knew what I knew now, I actually wouldn't have started with cleaning sneakers. I was going to start with products. But I also understand the point of the process. You have to go through the process. I had to clean, bro, I've cleaned I don't know how many sneakers we clean, bro, for me to figure this one piece out.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to go through that to get this cream. But why I'm mentioning this is that it's something that seems so far-fetched for me. But when I was there, I was like,
I'm doing it.
And now,
and it's very easy.
And now I'm opening that up.
Right.
I'm like, yo, this is how you do this, how you do this, how you do that. So for me, that's who I am. That's the type of, you ask me who I am and what I believe in. Yo, man, that's the type of person I am. And I think more than anything, what I'm enjoying is growing, man. Like I was saying to my best friend, I was like, if anything, I'm happy I didn't allow entrepreneurship to take my smile away and to take my youth from me.
Right.
Because that shit is brutal. That shit. I've seen people. I always ask myself, why are all the guys that own businesses go see me? Think about it, bro. Like all the big business guys,
and they want to share.
Approach them.
You can't share any information.
They can't share. But when I started running my business, I understood why.
Same here.
I understood why.
It's so tough to get shit done.
Tough. People take
fucking
advantage of you. People steal from you. People talk smack
about
so
you. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. It's what I was telling a friend. I was like, now I understand why a lot of rich people are so fucking not pissed off but arrogant. It's because the journey is so fucking the journey strips you apart of every day is a new fucking day when it comes to emotions.
It can do two things to you.
People don't respect you till you get the money. People like it's crazy.
That's why you said before the interview, like, bro, I've realized you don't care about like I've been through shit where there's nothing you can do to make me feel like I need you. If this is a business transaction, let's treat it like that.
Sure.
But in Josie, it's always like, you gotta know, man.
Yeah.
People couldn't believe that we were in sports scene.
It's not even about you doing the job.
People couldn't believe that we were in sports scene because they knew I didn't know no one in the streets. I wasn't affiliated to no one in the streets. I wasn't affiliated to no brand manager. It was straight business with sports scene. It was like, boom. There was no plug. So people were just like, so do you know? But I don't want to even mention names, but they'll mention someone who's like in the kick game. I'm like, I don't know none of those homies, bro.
That's not what I do.
Like I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur, So that's how Josie is.
So the truth of the work on this speaks for itself.
That's why I say if you put in the hours, people come. Sportscene approached us. We didn't do no presentation. I said to my team, first 3 years of business, the only thing we're doing, we're learning how to clean sneakers. That's the only thing we're doing. After that 3 years, we sell it now. We're selling what we're about. And if people don't get this thinking, if you focus enough on what you're doing, people are forced to recognize.
If you're consistent, they're even more forced.
Bro, I'm in a space where it's a hype thing. Like the sneaker game thing, who knows what?
How can I
get the 750? But I always say to homies, bro, we might not be the dopest or in the street band, but we got a beast of a company.
And we get the job done.
We're cleaning more than 1,005 pairs a month, and we get the job done. That's what matters. I meet payroll every month. I pay salaries. I know the space I'm in, and I continuously have to remind my team. Back to what I was saying about building a brand and a business. When I was sitting down in the interviews, it was because I was being famous, but my employees were earning less than what a decent human being was supposed to earning. So now it means the brand is here, but the company is here, and because the employees work for the company, not the brand, they're just like, no, that man not how go channel bonus. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So that's when I was like, no, I actually have to focus on the business because the business one pays people. And then someone will be like, no, but you can do influencer gigs and all that. And I'm like, the risk with building for short term is that in the long term, you end up being the brand that everyone worked with. And I'm from advertising. I know how brands work. Brands always want the hottest one out.
You know, the one that's used.
You know, and I said to my team, bro, we're gonna build a rate card for Lethabo. We're gonna build a rate card for Walkfish. If you want to work with Lethabo, here's a rate card. If you want to work with Walkfish, here's a rate card. And the Walkfish rate card will increase as we open the shops, as we hit our milestones.
Right.
And because we're running a self-sustaining business, I'm not reliant on working with this brand. So whenever we sit on the table, there's two brands sitting on the table. Yo, how can we add value? You can add value here. Boom, boom, boom. Does it work out? We want to rewrite the township narrative. Do you speak that language? No, we don't. So how do we plug into what you speak to? Guys, we only do this. Okay, cool. We can refer you someone. We got a network of sneaker cleaners. That's what happened with this other homie of mine who cleans sneakers. This other brand wanted to do work with us. Our quote was 102K. They said they had 15K. I said, that's fine.
Can work with someone else.
I can give you someone who needs that. Not that I don't need it. I genuinely need it. But if I get right up brand, they can always.
What is cutting the corners? No.
I built my story. I built my business with my own money.
Right.
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm trying to get an ROI, bro. I'm not playing games. I'm not playing games. So I said to them, I'm not gonna be cocky and say, oh yeah, what. And I understand you also got your own KPIs. Brand gave you budget because agency thinks we don't understand that budget comes from brand. But I'm from agency, so I understand the matrix. So I said to them, no, I understand. And I also understand that agency but budget.
Yeah.
You find out budget is actually 50K. They say, no, we got 50.
Yeah.
Because they look at you as a kid who aspires to work with this brand.
Sure.
I'm like, bro, this brand needs us. No one is rating these cakes more than kids in the hood.
Right.
The kids that you use as influencers,
they don't
even buy them.
Yeah.
You give them for free.
Yeah.
They don't even buy them.
Yeah, that's one thing I never understood about brands, how they like it's like such a mindfuck. You give people that don't wear your shoes to force people that actually wear your shoes to buy them.
I almost mentioned a brand that I just saw a campaign now, but I'm just like, man, it's the streets, it's gonna cause thing. But when I saw the people in that brand, I'm like,
people don't. I know what you're talking about.
I'm like, I know this
brand. It dropped like 2 days ago.
2 days ago. I'm like, these homies don't wear this brand.
They don't even familiar with it. And the thing is, that same brand, the shoes that they allowed them to use weren't actually even. I think that's why they chose those people. They weren't like the traditional shoes. Because I saw that thing and I was not pleased that people were giving devs, and I was just like, we are stuck in the matrix because we're giving devs for the wrong fucking reason. We need to get to a point where we're moving away from making noise.
You know why?
And we should be.
Let me tell you the politics.
Move away from noise to impact.
Here are the politics. The people who are running these campaigns
are friends with those people. Yeah.
You said it. You know? So for me, I'm not touched.
No, I could never be touched. Yo, get your paper, bro. But
rock.
The thing is, I know, like, do you know what I like? Because I mean, we run a brand and a company. But what I like is when these other brands work with the incorrect people. I love it because it gives me, or it gives us, a chance to work with the correct people. And it also it teaches me how to be wired to pick out the people that we should be working with.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? Like it like rewires my mental system. And it's like what I was telling this homie the other time. I was like, the issue that's going on right now is that people are being selected for the incorrect reasons. And the incorrect reasons don't sell anymore because the consumer's getting awake because there's so many of these campaigns that have been happening and it's something that I see in America. They've moved away from it. Like if you see American campaigns, obviously probably because they have bigger budget, but I don't even think it's about that. Like in America, they really, like you should check out Nike or Jordan when they work with someone in like the States.
It always resonates.
They always select people that have been wearing Jordans for like their whole lives.
But
it's crazy.
But also, bro, like just like everything else, bro. Even them, the people behind the campaigns, they're still learning, bro.
Yeah.
But right now it's just Kiskalem's buyer, and I'm okay with that. Like,
I'm cool.
Everything starts in the ditch. You know, and then it'll come.
No, man, I'm cool with it. Don't worry. Everybody get their paper. I'm really dope with that. I just watch and I comment in my own head. But I mean, it's never any hate. Just like,
exactly,
yo, man,
exactly.
do your thing. At some point, the truth will be revealed, and the truth is, and whoever gets the truth, I'm waiting to see which brand gets the truth.
They'll crack it.
I know there's gonna be. I know they're gonna start cracking it. I know they're gonna start cracking it.
So for me, that's the thinking I was saying, bro. Like, I'm happy I didn't allow entrepreneurship to take my smile and my youth away. You know?
Right.
Because entrepreneurship forces you to grow up quick.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I remember during lockdown, I had to let go of people, and one of my employees was like, "How am I gonna pay my kids' school fees?"
Ish.
Oh, that shit smacked me in the face.
Now you're just like, yo.
It's real, you know. But I'm still Lethabo. I'm still able to like play around and be myself. Also because I'm learning.
I think that's where passion comes in.
Yeah, you feel me?
I tell people to always be passionate.
Yeah,
be passionate about what you do.
I'm learning everything that I'm doing. Even if I say these things, a lot of them I just learned them yesterday.
Right.
And my theory is it's easier to teach while you're learning.
Cool.
You know, because I'm always calling my mentors, yo, Joe, I want to put this product on the shelf. How do you think we can do it? Don't do it yet. Get a product developer, people. My mentor says to me, get whoever launched Mac, the washing powder. If you can get that person to work on your product, you're gone. you know, things like, so I'm learning things like that, because if the young entrepreneur is like, we'll do this thing, we don't need no one, But now, because I've grown as an entrepreneur and I'm growing as an entrepreneur,
you're able to ask for help.
I'm able to ask for help, and I react differently to situations because not only am I growing as an entrepreneur, but I'm growing as an individual.
Right.
And I'm learning who I want to be as a human being. If I'm going to be a dad, what type of dad do I want to be?
Right.
If I'm going to be a husband,
what kind of
husband do I want to be? Why? You know. And I said to my friend Bashimani, because he was like, bro, you're unapproachable, dog. Like, you're unapproachable. And I'm like, I've become unapproachable because people have taken advantage of that. But now I have to recall and say, do I want that to be my brand?
Probably not.
Probably not. But if not, why? You know,
yeah.
These are the real questions I have to ask myself. And I'm grateful that, so entrepreneurs, my mom laughs at me. I'm happier when I have money. She's just like, oh, that's that she can hear my voice. I'm teaching myself to move myself away from that.
That's where I'm at.
You know, that's what I'm learning right now. And it's hard, bro, because the ball rolls.
It keeps rolling. Yeah, but that's literally where I'm at. Like, I'm sorry to talk. Like, where I'm at now is like, it's actually not about money anymore. It's about impact. Like, it's more about like what I can do to create impact with that cash. Like, I can have cash, but now it's like, okay, what's the next move besides having this cash? Because one thing I've read about entrepreneurship is that the money gotta flip. Like, it's not there to buy nice things. It gotta flip.
I said to my best friend 2 years ago, I said to him, I had just broken up with my girl. I said to him, bro, I'm gonna use this time to fix myself.
Right.
Because when the money comes, that shit gotta find me.
You gotta be in a proper mind, or else you're gonna fuck it up.
Yeah, I've seen what money does to people when they're not ready, or when they don't know themselves.
They finish it.
One of my clients, big boy, always says, getting the money is easy.
Keeping it
is
maintaining.
Because I said to him, no, but why are you married?
Maintaining.
I said to him, why are you married? He's like, yo, man, number one, because I love my wife, but number two is because she's the sober one.
And it's easier to maintain.
I'm impulsive, I'm an entrepreneur. She helps me keep it, you know, and that's one of the reasons why I have a wife, because she adds value to my life. Because I was like, I'm not just gonna have a wife because everyone has wives.
Fuck no.
What's is there a code here?
Yeah,
because I saw all of the people that I look up to, they're married, and one of the guys, I remember who it was. I was watching a video. He says he's an investor. He says, I don't invest in someone who is not committed to something. And there's two ways for me to see if you're really committed. If you don't have a wife, you must be going to gym. If you don't go to gym, you must have a wife. Because these are one of the two hardest things as a guy can commit to.
Right.
He was like, I don't care anyone says, right, that's my opinion. I'm not investing in anyone who doesn't have one of these. If you have both of them, cool. If you have one of each, cool. You know?
That's a good one.
And I was like, okay, cool. That's because he was like, I can give you money, but me, if I give you money, I want to see if you're going to stick it out. You're going to commit and you're going to give me my money back.
And that's, you know, that point, before we close it off, that's something I noticed as well. Because I study a lot. One of my pastimes is studying successful people.
Yeah, me too.
And one variable that's always there is a woman.
And I'm struggling with that, bro.
Same. Well, I can't say same, but same. But you know, it's the one variable that I see most of them have. So, and I'm trying to crack the code as to, I know why, but how do they manage? But I'm also understanding that a lot of them that are older did it in a different time.
Yeah.
And now we're doing it in a new time.
That's what
where it could be different.
That's why I'm saying I'm struggling.
Yeah.
I know.
This is a new time.
Because
it's a new
I'm not
time.
struggling to find someone. I'm struggling to rationalize it.
Yeah.
Logically, I can see the benefits of it. But I also have to be honest with the type of person I am. And,
it's a new time.
Yeah, and people don't want to speak about certain things that deep down they really feel like. I said to my friend, bro, do we really believe in monogamy? you know, like
that's a real question.
So for me, because we were saying, my best friend and I were like, bro, all of the hot ones that we know who divorced, they divorced for one reason, because they cheated.
Yeah.
There's something wrong in that system. There's a glitch.
Yeah.
So now I said to him, I love the idea of that. I see the logical benefits of it. I've seen all the successful homies do that. But I need to internalize it and make it make sense for me.
Right.
And so that when I make that discuss, yo man, I don't want to make decisions because it looks nice.
I have to be monogamous though. Polygamy looks hectic.
No, it does. But for me, the truth is, I'm saying that for me, that's worth exploring. Not even worth exploring, but worth understanding.
Okay.
And not just polygamy, understanding monogamy, because people just think monogamy, what does that mean?
Sure.
You know, does this mean if you and I are together, when you're interested in someone,
right?
Because it's human nature.
It's human nature.
Can we talk about it? And
it's not a beef. It's not a communication.
Beef, you know? But like you said, we're evolving, and some of those conversations, like people would rather like have them underneath.
People are different now, man.
People are different, exactly. So for me, this is the part I was saying. I'm learning so much right now about myself, because I don't want life to happen to me. Never. That's why I always have to make decisions every morning. What am I doing today? I'm doing this. I'm doing this. That way, I don't let anything mess with my happiness.
Right.
You know, I have control over what makes me mad or what doesn't make me mad, and if I am mad, how long am I mad?
That's key.
So for me, I'm learning and I'm having fun with that, bro. And because of the things that we've done, people expect you to be uptight.
Yeah. They do.
Every time I'm in the hall, people are like, this one boy says to me, I'm fine. Why like to expect him some tech, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go there tomorrow, but like I want to be here now.
I'm a normal guy. That's why why I don't want to be famous. Like I want to be a normal guy. I want to be able to catch a taxi if I want. Because when people put you there, you can't come back.
I always say to people, I don't want to be anyone's favorite anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to be your favorite entrepreneur. I don't want to be your favorite.
It's so hard to reverse.
Because then it means I can't make mistakes.
Yeah, you can't.
It means
that you have to be this perfect person apparently.
Every time I work with brands, I always say to them, are you sure you want to work with me? They're like, yeah. I'm like, you've seen my feed, right? You see, like, I'm a loose cannon. Yeah, we want to work with you. Okay, cool, let's rock.
Right.
Because I struggle with brands saying to me, you can't say this, you can't do this.
You can't do this like that because that's not removing you from who you are.
I'm an activist before I'm an entrepreneur. That's another thing about me.
Right.
Like, my entrepreneurship, and this has made me lose so many opportunities because
okay.
In me going to Cape Town, people don't notice, but I've cried twice. I've never told people this. And I look up homeless people. I just drove from Stellenbosch. Homeless people, and people are just giving them food from Kokoloyi. And they run for them. They fight for it. I'm like, this is how black people live. I'm an emotional homie, bro.
That's crazy.
I've cried twice. Bro, like, there's no middle class in Cape Town.
That's crazy.
It's either you have or you don't. And maybe it's because I'm not from Cape Town, I'm seeing it so vividly.
I see it too.
And when the second time I cried, I'm like, shit, I'm gonna create jobs here, bro. That's when I call people, I was like, yo, how do we open a shop in Langa? How do we do this and that? So that's how I move as an entrepreneur. And I'm saying it makes me lose a lot of opportunities because then there's so many rooms that I don't want to be in because they trigger me.
Right.
But the fact is, I need to be in those rooms for the bigger cause.
Right. In order for you to grow.
And I've missed so many opportunities because I'm vocal about my emotions. And the truth is, dog,
that's our business. It's like Dame Dash. That's why I respect him so much. But
exactly.
He's too emotional. He's too
That's
vocal.
why he's still selling right now.
Yeah, he's too
I'm
vocal.
like, at that age, at that level or with all the shit that you've done, I don't expect you to be selling hoodies right now.
Yeah, it's because he's just too vocal.
Exactly. So now
that's why I've learned a lot of things from watching him. Because
I studied him a lot. Exactly.
I studied him like gang. Respect to that, man. Because one thing I studied about him is the fact that he's so smart, but his one downfall is that he's just too vocal.
So that's why every now and then I take sabbaticals from Facebook. I'm just like, oh, okay, now I'm rattled up. Because now you must understand, I also have employees. So it's not about me.
Yeah, like they can be like, hey, my boss is whining. Did you see what that guy said yesterday?
Yeah, never mind that. I say something wrong, then someone closes a tab, then my employees suffer for that.
Sure.
I have too much to
Sure, you have too much responsibility.
And I said to one of my friends, Banel, I said, yo, bro, when I was younger, I said, yo, this hot man is a big boy in the agency, but he never speaks about how black creators are treated. And he says to me, do you know what that guy is doing for black creators, bro? He's doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just because he doesn't say anything, it doesn't mean he's not doing anything.
Right. Just because.
But because he's quiet about it, he's able to be in rooms where he's much more impactful.
Right. And because if he's vocal about it, now he can't be that impactful because people now see what he does.
So now I'm fighting that because I'm still young. I'm naive. I've said things in the past and I'm just like,
fuck, I shouldn't.
But at that time I was like, yeah. You know. So now I'm fighting that because now I'm getting older now. And I know the system is either gonna shut me up or kick me out.
Right.
You know. So and like you said, it's really about impact.
Right.
If it's about money, then you can.
No one can make money.
People. There's this guy who sells an energy drink, and I'm always like, bro, like I grew up looking up to that homie, but I'm not expecting him to be at the Robles right now. This guy that'll be the one who's
I know exactly what you're talking about.
This guy has to be at the point where he's giving us racks to go out.
Yeah, but he's teaching me that as a hustler, there's no level you should be scared to drop down. If you need to do it, go do it.
That's why people were like, bro, you're crazy. First weekend in Cape Town, I was at the Roberts handing on flyers. Because your first job as an entrepreneur is to sell.
Yeah.
You're a salesman, you know. So those are the emotions that I'm fighting with right now in me growing, in me trying to figure out the type of person I am as a Lethabo and as an entrepreneur. What type of boss do I want to be? Do I want to be the boss where you call me Bosiho or I don't, you know, things like that, you know. So that's why I get it. It's a very dope journey for me. And I used to think because we don't have capital, we're handicapped. But because we haven't had capital, we've been the most creative.
Right.
Because
we found a lot of other ways.
We found creative alternatives for everything we couldn't afford. When we couldn't afford a shop in Sandton, anyone who knows what first can tell you, we used to have a drop-off point in Sandton. Because I was like, we're gonna get to Sandton one way or another.
Dope.
So we because of that,
so I've always made a way.
I've used my creativity to fill those gaps, and I'm grateful today because I used to complain to my friend if I pay and be like, yo dog, that's not. And he's like, bro, one day you're gonna look back and be grateful for all the things you've learned because you didn't have whatever.
Right.
And today I'm like, because of that, I know how to do this. But we need to stop selling this narrative
that I didn't have.
Yeah, I didn't have, but not only that, but that money doesn't matter.
It does.
Yeah. There's only so much you can do without money.
Yeah.
Now we've reached our ceiling with that. Because I'm like, okay, our plan is to roll out 1,000 stores by 2030. You need money for that.
Yeah.
You need like financial muscle for that, you know. But like I was saying to you, I don't want people to just throw money at me. Give me money and hold my hand and say, Dwan, this is how you're gonna give me my money back. Because then I know when you're doing that, I'm learning from you.
But I can make it bigger.
I have one way to make your money back without stressing about rent.
Right.
You feel me? So yeah. That's
okay. So before we go, we have this thing called motivation. I know it used to be called Inspiration 101, but it's called Motivation 101. What is the mantra that you wake up and tell yourself? That's how we chose the show. Like, what's the one mantra you wake up, you tell yourself that you want people to know about you?
So my mantra is I want to be the guy the homies in every hood, in every corner talk about and say that homie changed it. He flipped it for everyone, and because he did that, we can do that.
Right.
You know, that's my one goal. That's the one thing that I wake up and I'm saying this because when we were growing up, in Davidson we had this guy Bongan Paloni.
Okay.
Bongan Paloni, even in my hair, I remember he used to have a kushesh, a red one, it was like a fat, whatever, you know. But we aspired to be him. Like, we even tried dressing up like him, you know. and we were the last generation that knew him, and we only knew stories of him, or whatever. But we grew up to that, and I know. And even when I went to other hoods, there's always that one criminal, one thug that we all look up to.
Kimmy, he flexed.
Yeah, Kimmy flexed.
Him like
Shaila Rosemora, Shadi Cheney, and today Shadi Red Bottom.
Right.
You know, my one goal is for kids in the hood to, for the first time ever, to look up to someone who's legit.
Dope.
To someone, I always say to kids, people want to be like, no, you don't have to finish school. I'm like, yo, bro, finish school. Like, I could have just said, no, I'm going to fit a scale or whatever. Like, I have a degree, bro. And because of that, I'm able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, I really want to be the guy where kids say, dog, you can't be like Lethabo if you haven't done 1, 2, 3, 4.
Don't forget, he went to university.
Yeah. So, if you can do that, I'm get the I shot to my IT company.
Sure.
You know? So, I'm tired of having criminals as role models in the hood. I'm tired of that shit.
I bet.
You know, so for me, that's the one thing that when I wake up, and there's a price to pay. I was saying to me, I was like, the biggest price I've paid for me trying to reach that and me trying to build my business is the friendships that I've lost in the process.
Right.
Because I'm so fixated in that I've lost people that really meant a lot to me because I wasn't present.
Right.
And now I'm more present in any relationship, be it platonic or romantic, that I'm in, because I'm tired of losing those people, bro.
Right.
You know, but to answer you, that's my mantra. Like, I'm trying to challenge that to say, for the first time, I'm gonna go.
He fucks shit up.
Like, that guy used to walk into a boardroom, shake Kavila and DMD.
Sure.
And speak to Baloyald. He would 2 meters from me, Baloyald.
Sure.
That's the conversation. If I could spark that, then I'm done. Then I'll go to my grave, kill him now.
Oh, yeah.
Everything else is
everything else that's beautiful.
So
man.
that's my main thing.
That's really beautiful.
Word.
Respect, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning into the show and listening. You know, I dealt with my special guest. Our life is really special. So yeah, stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you so much for your time. Brah.
And you're live on Dead Radio.